Okay, so what if the career advice you hear all the time is actually the very thing holding you back? Today, we're going to dive into a totally different playbook for your 20s and 30s. We're talking about a set of powerful, kind of contrarian strategies that are designed not just for success, but for, extraordinary success. Let's get right into it.
Just think about this for a second. What if that one thing everyone sees as your weakness, your youth, your supposed lack of experience, is actually your single greatest strategic advantage? All the common advice says play it safe, wait your turn, climb the ladder. But we're here to talk about a much, much more effective path, one that flips all that conventional wisdom right on its head.
And it all starts with understanding something called your asymmetric advantage. This is the unique, incredible power that your age gives you right now.
So, what does that actually mean? Well, it all comes down to asymmetric risk. These are situations where your potential upside is just massive and your potential downside is tiny. In your 20s and 30s, this is your reality. With fewer obligations, maybe no mortgage, no kids yet, and this huge runway ahead of you, your downside is minimal. You can recover from almost anything. Meanwhile, your upside is basically unlimited. You get to take way more shots on goal than anyone else in the game.
Now, to really use that advantage, we have to start by tearing down some pretty common myths. And first on the list is a big one, the passion trap. We've all heard it, right? 1,000 times. Just follow your passion.
But what if that advice isn't just kinda useless, but is actually harmful? Seriously, this idea might be one of the most damaging myths out there, because more often than not, it just leads to frustration and, honestly, a dead end. But the good news is, there's a much better way to think about this.
And this comparison right here, this is everything. See, passion is vague, it's fickle. What you're passionate about today might change next year. But competence, that's measurable, it's valuable, and it compounds, it grows over time. But here's the real kicker, the big insight. Passion doesn't lead to success. It's the other way around. Getting really, really good at something valuable, that's what creates a deep, lasting passion for your work. So yeah, the path to mastery isn't always glamorous, but it is pretty straightforward. First, you gotta figure out what you're actually good at. Second, find a market where people are already spending money on that skill. And third, and this is the part nobody likes to talk about, you have to endure the grind, the boring stuff. Anyone can play a game of chess, but a grandmaster studies thousands of old games. That's where the real excellence is forged. This brings us to myth number 2. And man, this one is everywhere today. The hustle culture illusion. It's this belief that to be successful, you have to be doing everything all at once. Juggling side hustles, multiple startups, networking 24/7. It looks super impressive on social media, but trust me, it's a trap. And this chart shows you exactly why it's a trap. When you spread yourself thin across venture A, B, and C, yeah, you might make some revenue from each one. It makes you feel busy, important. But look closely at the profit, the money you actually keep. It's low, consistently low across the board. You're not building wealth here, you're just building a portfolio of distractions. Let this one sink in because it's so important. Revenue feeds the ego. It lets you say, I'm the CEO of 3 companies. It sounds great, but focus is what builds actual life-changing wealth. You can't be the CEO of multiple companies at the scale needed for real success. You just can't. The two are completely at odds with each other. So what's the solution? Well, it's a painful but incredibly powerful choice: strategic consolidation. It means you have to cut away all the good opportunities to pour every ounce of your energy into the single best one. This is how you go deep instead of broad. This is how you build an advantage that is so focused, nobody else can even touch it. And that leads us right into our final and maybe the biggest myth we need to bust: the fear of failure. We are wired to avoid it. We see it as this final judgment on our abilities. But what if that's totally wrong? What if failure isn't the opposite of success, but a necessary ingredient for it? Because the reality of an overnight success almost always looks something like this. It's messy. It's a winding, unpredictable path. You start a venture in year 1, it fails. You get a small win, then you try something else, and bam, another wall in year 4. It's just a long journey of trial and error until finally you hit that breakthrough. The idea of a straight line to the top, it's a total myth. And here is a really powerful way to reframe this whole thing. Think of every failure as you paying down your ignorance debt. That's the cost of all the stuff you don't know yet. Every single mistake, every failed launch, it's like a tuition payment. It's expensive, sure, but it's necessary. It reduces that debt and builds your expertise. And the best part? You never, ever start from scratch again. I mean, when you boil it all down, what is an expert, really? They're just someone who has already made all the common mistakes in one very specific area. That's it. Mastery is literally built on a mountain of those mistakes. You have to learn how to lose long before you can learn how to win. Okay, so we've torn down all these old myths. What do we replace them with? Let's pull everything we've just talked about together into a simple, actionable, new blueprint for building your future. It really comes down to these 3 pillars. Number 1, get absolutely crystal clear on what you actually want. Clarity has to come before execution. Number 2, learn to ignore the opinions of other people. Their advice, it's based on their life, their goals, their fears, not yours. And number 3, do so much volume. Take so many shots on goal, try so many things in that one direction you've chosen, that one of them simply has to work. You make success a statistical inevitability.
So, in the end, we're left with this. These strategies aren't just theory. We know they work. The real question isn't if they'll work for you. It's whether you'll have the courage and the discipline to actually use them. The choice is yours. Thanks for tuning in.